different goal. Okay, let me preface that way. So when you see Coach and I talking about stuff up here for that work might work for us, just know that everyone has different goals. So you want to make sure you guys appreciate that in that sense, okay? So first thing I want to talk about is protein dense versus not protein dense food items, okay? Now, and this is where I want you guys, maybe you've been up for a while, you already worked out, your brain's flowing. This is where actually I want some of you guys to give me some protein items. Ready to go. What are some protein foods? Egg whites, chicken. What else?
Cheese.
Cheese, yes. Cheese. Okay, I heard chicken. What else?
Fish.
Fish.
Cheesy.
There are no right or wrong answers right now.
Greek yogurt.
Greek yogurt, steak, right. Greek yogurt, steak. What else? Keep throwing them.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Protein shakes.
Protein shakes.
Beans.
Beans. Nuts. Okay, that's good. I'm running out of space. Awesome. All right, so guys, what we're going to talk about is protein, and just to remind you, protein is actually, we all know the macronutrients, right? We got protein. What else we got? Carbohydrates and fats. Everyone's like, yeah, I know the carb one, all right? So, protein, guys, again, the actual #1 macronutrient that helps us to reach a lot of health benefits, okay? Most of the time, and people are here that care about building muscle and at the same time losing body fat, all right? That helps kind of build metabolism. So, high protein diet is a good thing. So, we're going to talk about the types of foods and what those look like. Now, there are a couple items out in front here, okay? So you guys can't really see this, but this is chicken, and yes, it's refrigerated bag, okay? Now, also, I planned for someone to say peanut butter, got peanut butter, okay? Also, I planned for somebody to say nuts, I got nuts, all right? Now, also, I planned somebody to say Greek yogurt too, all right? Now, with these 4 things, we're gonna talk about what is a protein dense item. So protein dense are considering those 3 things, okay? So protein, how much protein does it have? All right, now we'll also see how many carbs and then how much fat it has, all right? Now, we're gonna go ahead and look at, now there's 2 ways to go about measuring protein and finding like, hey, how much protein is in a piece of chicken? So you guys, there's 2 ways. There's a simple way and there's more an exact way. You ready for the simple way?
Yeah.
Everyone raise your right palm up to the sky. That is 5 ounces right there, around. 5 ounces, okay? Now, if I took this is the exact way, where I take a food scale, literally place this in here, and it weighs out to be, this one's a little heavier, this one's 9 ounces, but just for the sake, let's say 5, right? So 5 ounces of protein, guys, equates of chicken. 5 ounces equates to 125 calories, okay, so that's gonna be good to remember going later. 27 grams of protein, 2.5 grams of fat, and then 1 gram of carb, okay? So again, dense is, you can kind of already tell, this is gonna be very dense. So this is in grams, right? So remember, grams equal calories. So protein, this is gonna be important. A gram of protein is how many calories you fill? How many calories goes in 1 gram? I heard someone say it. 4 calories goes into 1 gram of protein, okay? So you 4 times 27, that's calories right there, okay? Now, carbs, it's the same thing. 4 calories is 1 gram. What do you think fats are?
100.
7. Okay? Actually, I'm sorry, it is 9. I'm not.
Too many.
So, now, also, I'm just going to throw it in there because it's a little jab at the side on the weekend. Alcohol is 7 calories, all right? So just a heads up there, all right? Now, I know, I'm the worst. So just know that alcohol counts on the weekends. If it does, we'll get that here in a second. But what I want you guys to know is that dense, you guys can tell dense has a lot more protein than anything else, right? Everyone not do this if you think that's sweet. Now, let's go to the almonds that I have up here. All right, who actually enjoys almonds? Let's go, most people. I'm actually the one person that kind of doesn't, all right? So, if you guys can actually look, and actually, I'm gonna kind of like just show from a distance, literally a handful, all right? Who wants to guess how much protein is in 1 handful of almonds?
15.
11.
20.
9 grams of protein, okay? How many grams of fat do you think is in there? 21 grams of fat. So this is a fat source. This is not a protein source. So we gotta make sure we know the difference, okay? Protein dense versus not protein dense foods, okay? Now, with that, other things that are considering, guys, are peanut butter. Peanut butter is also, what do you think? 7 grams of protein with 2 tablespoons, and then also 18 grams of fat. So again, maybe not a protein dense option, but still a protein option. So again, we're looking for things that are more in a higher amount of protein per gram or per serving. Now, with the next thing I want to go over are Greek yogurt. Now, who's you can be honest, who's not a fan of like animal products and who doesn't really enjoy it? Is anyone? That's okay if you're not. If you're like, Coach, I don't like eating chicken or meat or anything like that, non-fat Greek yogurt, guys, is a great option. This actually has 15 grams of protein with like 1 or 2 grams of fat. Now, this one particularly, the Oikos 000, this one is okay. It has 10 grams of carbs, so might be okay there. Now, with the other things, team, what we'll do is we actually talk about with your amount of protein that I want you guys to think about is, again, how much you should have. So, again, a female wants to have 1 palm size every meal. 1 palm size every meal of dense protein. For you fellas, most fellas over, let's say 200 pounds, you're gonna have 2 palm sizes of dense protein, okay? So that's something I want you guys to remember moving forward, all right? Now, also, team, with another thing I want us to talk about, who's a fan of bars? Anybody? Bars? Yeah. So who has ever had an RX bar before?
Oh.
Come on now. Who's had a Quest bar before? Okay. Who's had one of the FitJoy bars up there? All right. Again, looking on the back. RX bar has 12 grams of protein, carbs, 23 grams of carbs. Okay. So it's not dense. This is not a protein bar. Okay. Let's go to the Quest bar. You have grams of fat, 8. Not bad. Grams of protein, 20. All right, so guys, looking on the back of the label is important to look at, okay? So again, you guys can even check the FitJoy bars. Those taste just as good. So just a couple things. That's what I wanted to go over just to start off with, guys. Protein density is an important thing to consider when buying things. And again, serving sizes, there's 2 ways to go. And John's going to talk more about this tomorrow with like how much and how to weigh stuff. But again, the easiest way, you'll never hopefully do it without your hands. Ladies, 1 palm size of dense protein per meal, every day. That's the challenge. It's really hard, I know. And then fellas, 2 palm sizes. Or if you want to go the exact way, which I like doing, just getting the food together. Okay. All right, Dubs, take it over.
Yeah, and you know the reason we're talking about protein more than the other macronutrients is that's the hardest one to eat every day, right? And so it's good to know. Oh man, I'm actually putting more protein in my body than I thought I was. Whereas if I'm eating almonds, not putting as much, oh, that's a good protein source. We always joke about this, but we had a lady, it's no longer in the gym, was once like, yeah, I get a ton of protein in my system through spinach. And we were like,
not a lot of protein.
There's not really any protein in spinach. Popeye the Sailor Man did not get all those muscles from spinach, like we think. So that's very important. And so, and a good rule of thumb as well is you want to try to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight. So if I weigh 200 pounds and I want to weigh 180 pounds, right? I want to lose 20 pounds, I need to eat about 180 grams of protein a day. Well, guess what? That's a lot of stinking protein. So that's why it's really important to do what he's just talking about, okay? Now, the second thing is calories in versus calories out. So, how many of you guys have ever tracked your calories before? Anybody? Show of hands? Okay, a good chunk of you guys. So, we hear a lot of times, whether it's from athletes or just in the fitness world in general, like, hey, I'm eating really well, but I'm not losing any weight. What's going on? Okay? Well, science says that if we consume less calories than we burn, what do you think is going to happen? We're going to lose weight. If we consume more calories than we burn, what do you think is going to happen? Gain weight. We're going to gain weight, okay? So, believe it or not, that is tried and true. So if someone's eating healthy and not losing weight, they're probably not actually eating that healthy because they may not know what this looks like, okay? So I want to give you guys an idea of what this looks like. So, let's say, for example, in order for me to lose weight, we need to look at how many calories, and I'm choosing weight loss as a general goal, right? Not all of us want to lose weight, but we'll start there. We need to know how many calories we're actually burning. Now this is almost impossible to know exactly, okay? But how many of you guys, when you get your in-body printout, you look at that top right number, it says basal metabolic rate, BMR, right? Hopefully your coach has told you what that means. That means, hey, I burned that number of calories a day at rest. So if I don't do anything, if I wake up and I just watch TV all day and I go to sleep, I didn't do anything, that's how many calories I'm gonna burn. So let's say, just for example, my BMR is 1,500 calories. So that's I'm just alive. I'm breathing calories, okay? So let's take that and then let's add in activity, because I don't think you guys just wake up and watch TV all day and go to bed. Anyone? That'd be nice though, right? Okay, so let's say we work out, or let's say we do yard work, or let's say, whatever, help a friend move, whatever. You're gonna add calories to this. Now it's hard to know exactly how many calories you burn. It's almost impossible to know that. Some of us wear some technology that helps give us direction. Even that number's not perfect, but at least gives you something to track. Generally speaking, I'd say most athletes, when you were in your 45 minutes at Iron Tribe, you were probably burning between about 250 and 600 calories. That's a big span. That's just a difference in how intense the workout is for some folks versus others. So if I add, let's just say 500 calories from activity. Easy math, I'm burning about 2,000 calories a day, right? So, if I burn 2,000 calories a day, I need to eat less than 2,000 calories a day to lose weight. Y'all with me? It's very simple so far, right? Now, it is generally accepted that 500 calorie deficit a day, okay, is a nice place to be, is a good sweet spot to be in. And a lot of science has proven that 2,500 calorie deficit in a week, or in any given time frame for that matter, is about a pound of weight loss at a time. So if I'm at a 2,500 calorie deficit over any course of time, that's a pound. All right. I actually had an athlete over the past 2 weeks has eaten almost exactly a 10,000 calorie deficit. They lost 4 pounds. That's a pound every 2,500 calories. It's crazy how science works, right? So if I'm at 2,000 calories, that means I need to eat at a healthy deficit to that. So I would probably need to eat around 1,500 calories a day, right? This is pretty simple. Now, 1,500 calories a day gives me a 500 calorie deficit over the course of 7 days. That's 3,500 calories. That means I'm losing about a pound to a pound and a half a week. All right? So, it is very important to know what this means. And I don't think that calorie tracking is like you don't have to do it, but I certainly encourage it. Because how many of us keep track of what we eat Monday through Thursday, and Friday night gets here, and it's like the weekend just didn't happen. Anybody? It's like, well, if I eat during the weekend, it doesn't count, right? It doesn't matter, okay? So another way to look at this is I could eat 1,500 calories a day, Monday through Thursday, and I'm doing great. That's 4 days. That's a 2,000 calorie deficit. I'm doing great. But if my Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is at a severe surplus, I just wiped out all my hard work from Monday through Thursday, and I'm eating healthy, but I don't lose any weight. Y'all feel me? Yeah. Okay, so calories in, calories out. Does that make sense to anyone? Yeah. Yes. Do y'all have questions about that before I move on? Okay, if you do have a question, think of one. Wait, so I answer questions at the end. So, perfect segue. Calories in, calories out. Let's then talk about cheat meals. Everyone's favorite topic. All right, so I would imagine that everyone in this room does not want to eat strictly every single day for the rest of your life. Is that fair to say? Okay. Me neither. Okay, so and none of your coaches do that, and none of your coaches expect you to do that. Okay, so don't expect yourself to do that. Now, I think it is very valuable and very important to have a cheat meal or have a cheat day. But what does that actually mean? Because I think many times a cheat meal or a cheat day turns into cheat meals and cheat days and maybe even cheat weeks, and then I'm eating healthy but I don't lose weight, right? Keep going back to that. So how can I have this but still achieve my goals? So let's use our calorie example again. So if I burn 2,000 calories a day, and this is considering that I work out every day too, and I eat 1,500 calories a day, I'm at a 500 calorie deficit. So let's just say if my goal is to lose a pound a week, like we talked about, that's 2,500 calorie deficit for the week. So let's say for the first For the first 4 days of the week, I eat my 1,500 calories. So I'm at a 500 calorie deficit for 4 straight days. That's 2,000 calorie deficit, right? Like I just mentioned, if I then take my 2,000 calorie deficit, I'm like, sweet, I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome. I'm gonna hit my goals. But then on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and maybe beyond, I'm like, well, I'm gonna eat a lot more calories. And I eat 2,500 calories, okay? Now, I'm erasing all the hard work that I just put in for the previous weeks, or for the previous days. So what I encourage you guys to do, and some of my athletes may feel like that I'm broken record because I've talked about them, this to them recently. But think about this: if I'm trying to have a 2,500 calorie deficit for the week, let's say for my first 4 days of the week, I do way better than I even anticipated. Let's say I eat 1,200 calories a day. Okay? So,
You're very angry at that point.
I don't know, you'd be surprised. I mean, no, I'm not going to say that.
Just saying, right?
Guess that's why I'm angry all the time. So, now, if I eat at an 800 calorie deficit for 4 straight days, I have now eaten at a 3,200 calorie deficit for those 4 days added together, all right? So, let's say I want to have fun Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I now have 700 calories to play with to still be within my goals. So, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I can eat a little bit more because I have some calories to play with, right? So, let's say Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, as a combined total, I now have eaten, I ate 700 calories in surplus. That number now for the week is 2,500, and I'm losing my pound a week. Okay? Just to give you, I wish I could blow it up on a projector screen, but I can't right now. But I've actually been personally tracking my calories for the last few weeks, and last week specifically, I was like, you know what? I want to know how bad I can eat and still be in my goals. Okay? So Monday through Thursday, I'll tell you guys my numbers here. So Monday through Thursday, I was almost at a 4,000 calorie deficit through the first 4 days of the week. So Tom, I was just an angry SOB. So I'm sorry for those. I'm sorry for those. Yeah, I'm sorry for those who may have had any of my classes on Wednesday or Thursday.
I wasn't even here, but I felt it.
Yeah, the wrath. Okay. Y'all have to ask Emily if I was actually angry during those days. Okay, so through 4 days, I was at a 3,980 calorie deficit. Okay? So my goal is to eat 2,200 calories a day. I was eating around 2,200 to 2,300 a day. I was burning about 3,000 a day. Okay, so that's how this number happened. On Friday, I ate 4,243 calories. So that night, that day, I was at a almost 1,200 calorie surplus.
What'd you eat?
Not important.
All things.
I don't know if that math is right.
All things.
So even after a hellacious Friday, still at a 2,780 calorie deficit. Goals accomplished. Does that make sense to you guys? So when you think about cheat meals, I again don't think that calorie tracking is necessary. You don't have to do it, but boy, I enjoyed that 4,000 calories, but I enjoyed it not like, mentally I wasn't like, dang, I am ruining my whole week right now. I was like, I got room. I'm gonna keep eating this. And you actually enjoy those bad meals instead of actually getting down on yourself. So you actually flip the mental side of that on its head as well. So when you guys think about cheat meals, you think about the weekend, hey, work really hard your Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday. If you know you have something coming up in the weekend or you want to relax a little bit, do the work to track your numbers in order to give yourself room to play. It's just like a financial budget, right? Hey, I got a vacation in a few months. I'm going to eat out less so I can pay for that vacation. You wouldn't overspend, so now you can no longer go on your vacation. Treat your nutrition the same way. Cheat meals. Cool. All right, now, speaking of meals,
So with shopping, who is the person? If you're the person for your household that shops for your household, raise your hand. Oh, let's go. These are the leaders in the house right here. All right, so let's also get some hands from if there is anyone in attendance from our, man, this was like maybe the second month we were open at ITF Franklin. We did an ITF Franklin go to the grocery store or ghetto Kroger, if you will, and actually walk around and talk about grocery shopping. Anybody?
Anyone there?
Wow, okay, this is great. This is all the new information.
We have video.
Yes, I remember watching your video.
Okay, you watched
Yeah,
the video.
video.
Okay. Yeah, and then like the grocery store, grocery workers would come up to me and like, what are you doing? They wouldn't let that happen today. Okay, now this is a hard thing to do because we're not. I'll tell you this: the number one thing that people struggle with, and I don't know if this is for everybody, the number one thing that people struggle with food is emotional eating. So if you've ever had that moment in your life where like, man, I've had a crappy day, or man, this person pissed me off, or whatever, like you just gotta get some stress out, and you like, instead of like maybe dealing with it in a healthy way, you instead overrate, right? Hey, I've done that too. So with the first rule of grocery shopping or meal shopping, do not grocery shop hungry or angry. Okay? Because you're just going to grab whatever that. Everyone say yes. Yes. Okay, great. So don't grocery shop angry or hungry. Now, what we're going to do with any store, I think, in existence, this is going to be good. Super simple. It's a rectangle. Okay? So you walk in, it's a little big rectangle, like with any store really. Now, depending on where you go, okay, I've been in almost every store other than the one that John goes to, which is kind of funny to me. I've never been in an Aldi before. But with that, you guys also want to think about the entrances as a kind of a way to, actually a strategy to trick your brain. When you walk into the grocery store, you probably already have a rhythm because you either grocery shopping once a week or every other week. Now, your first thing should be is, I know if I shop at Kroger, I'm taking a left right away. Why is that? Produce, let's go. So, and if I shop at Publix, which I do now, I'm taking a right? So, think of it that way. That is first thing. That's the first thing you're like, okay, Casper told me to turn left or right. So, we're going to just think about this. When you guys are in a grocery store, perimeter shopping, okay? So, perimeter shopping continues to be a strategy in shopping because what you guys look at are the things that are on the perimeter are what? You got produce, our meats, our fish, our baker. Yeah, there is true. You got me, bakery. All right, now I want you to have somebody accountable and like hold your hand as you guys. Now, bakery is there, but let's try to bypass that. Also, the wine section's right here too. Okay. Now, with this, the next thing I would say about grocery shopping, guys, is have a list. That's my next thing, okay? Have a game plan or have a list. So, perimeter shopping, all right, is going to be number one. And then number two is have a list, always, okay? Always. Now, if you are a cook by any means, when I say cook, you mean you like trying new recipes and whatever that is. Meaning like a recipe is PB&J. I'm not saying eat PB&J, but you've got to make, be able to write down something on a list. So make sure you have everything, all right? That's also, when we get to the last thing, which is going to be with John, and we'll talk about a little later, is meal prep. You first got to go shop for things and have those things in your house. So make sure you guys have that list. And then the third thing from there is also, if you guys are like, man, I'm not comfortable going to the grocery store now, hey, there are places obviously they can do what's called, Kroger pickup. Just have that, that's an idea. Now the third thing, guys, is also try to stay in that realm of perimeter shopping. Think of trying to buy everything as protein first, because, well, I should say protein first. You're trying to think about protein as the most important part of this. So if you guys can look at it as like, okay, I'm gonna buy my protein, okay, then I'm gonna have my carbs, and then I'm gonna have my fats and whatnot, right? So protein, carbs, fats, what am I looking for? So I'm gonna bring out some things that are some great things to shop for when considering some carbs. Now, the carbs are gonna sometimes be on the outside. For instance, the bakery actually is a good one. What you guys wanna stay with carbs are gonna be whole grains, okay? So Ezekiel toast, Ezekiel bread, also Dave's Killer bread, if anyone's into the kids go to bread. Reason being is because of fiber. Guys, fiber is actually one of the best things to have with weight loss, okay? So protein was the first one, fiber is the next one, all right? So the carb is gonna have high fiber. That's what we're gonna look at next. So again, we're going around, we're getting to our carbs, and then as we probably have to sometimes come into these little sections to get like, I need my trash bags. Okay, I got toilet paper, which is all already. I got this. And so you guys walk into, again, if you guys think about it as like, hey, I'm gonna walk in my carb section next. Now there's some awesome ways to look at carbs. Now everyone's like, what's a good carb? A good carb is an unprocessed carb. It's you making yourself. So one of the things we have are whole grain brown rice, right? Brown rice is nutritious. White rice is fine. Now with this said, again, like I said, fiber, dietary fiber. This has a pretty good amount. Okay. Then the other one, again, this one's a stretch for some, but quinoa. Quinoa is actually really high in protein for those that don't eat much meat. It's actually not that bad in protein. So having your carbs and your fats there. Now, the next thing and the last thing I'll say about grocery shopping, guys, is if you guys also have a budget, like you have to work around, again, my thing again is going back to the protein, carb, fat kind of strategy. If I buy my protein first, and then I have my carbs, and I have my fat, then I get to buy everything else, okay? So that's going to keep you guys in that kind of budget around, all right? Anything to add on, Sean?
No, I mean, he nailed it. You're supposed to stay out of the middle aisles as best you can. I'm very bad at grocery shopping, so I don't really do it that often because I'll just go down every aisle. Oh, I think I need that. Oh, I think I need that. And that's not good. So that's why my wife doesn't do smart grocery shopping. So he hit the nail on the head though. Perimeter shopping is the main focus, and also having a plan before you ever walk into the grocery store and not going hungry. But if you go to the produce section, even though when you're hungry, you're like, well, I'm not even hungry anymore. All right, so shopping takes us to our last topic before we do questions, which is meal prep. Now, John's going to meal prep tomorrow, and obviously we encourage you guys to jump in with him on that. But Cash and I just wanted to give you some practical tips that we use for our own meal prep. I think meal prep becomes this daunting, oh, my entire weekend I'm going to cook. It's like, no, you're not. So if you plan accordingly and just apply some simple practices, you can meal prep really fast. So really the main thing I wanted to hammer home with you guys today is there's really 3 ways to look about your meal prep. Each one is more detailed and more thorough than the next. So like when I go into a meal prep on a weekend, like I'll do tomorrow, the first thing I think is number 1, protein. Like I want to cook my protein up. So the base level of your meal prep, I'll write down here. The base level is just making sure that I get all my protein cooked up. So for me, it's a lot of ground turkey. I've been eating ground turkey for so long, I will become a turkey. But doesn't have to be the same thing. You can do 2 different dishes, 3 different dishes, whatever. But that's like base level. Because here's the thing, I can't just whip up protein real quick when I'm in a crunch during the week. So I want to have that ready to microwave or eat or whatever at any moment. So number 1, when I go to meal prep, I want to make sure my protein is ready. For me, ground turkey takes less than 30 minutes. 3 pounds of ground turkey cooks in like 20-something minutes, and it takes me about 10 minutes to measure it out. That's not very long. You got 30 minutes in a weekend, okay? And sometimes we'll even do turkey on the skillet, and at the same time, chicken's in the oven, and it's bacon. Well, guess what? That takes about the same amount of time. So you can be done with cooking all your protein for the whole week, 30 minutes. That's not that bad, okay? The second thing, so like the next level is protein plus a veggie. So, all right, I got my protein, but I also want to whip up some veggies too to make sure that that's ready. Because similarly, it can be hard for me just to whip up some veggies, right? You can't go to the convenience store, hey, you got some Brussels sprouts for me. No, they don't, okay? They got crap for you. So, you want to have veggies ready at all times, right? So, hey, I go into my meal prep. What veggies do I want to eat this week for lunch and dinner? What proteins do I want to eat this week for lunch and dinner? And then go. All right, and again, you're not adding that much time because as you guys know, if you've ever prepped veggies, they don't take that long, okay? Especially if you have like a pressure cooker or something like that. I mean, it's very quick. So that's kind of your next level. So hey, I have a little bit more time. I want to think a little bit harder about this. I can add veggies to my list. And then the third thing is you're a chef. And you're like recipes, meals. Like you like to get in the kitchen. You're like, ooh, what am I going to make this week? And you're like looking up stuff on Pinterest and the Iron Tribe recipe book and like all that crap. And you're like, man, I wanna get in there. So like that does take a long time. I think a lot of us think of our meal prep like that. That's just not the reality. It's pretty much make sure I got my meat and my veggies ready. Okay? But obviously you can do this. I'm not trying to dissuade you guys from getting in there and getting creative. I think that's awesome that you can actually probably create a lot more variety, a lot more flavor for your foods than someone who just eats ground turkey every day. But that's kind of the way you can look at this. So for you guys, if meal prep has been a struggle for you, go into today or tomorrow and just figure out how you're gonna do this. If you can figure this out, the other stuff actually comes a lot easier. Okay? So that's how I look at meal prep. I know we do similar stuff, but any tips that you would add to meal prep?
Yes, I would say whoever's bought food before and then had to throw it out because it went bad. Is anyone? Okay, yeah. So buy things you actually enjoy, first of all, right? Like, to be honest with you, I don't actually enjoy quinoa, but I'm trying it this week. So heck, I have it and it's not gonna spoil. But on the other side, like, I don't want to buy something all in one big bulk if I don't like it. So there's that. But also, team, also break this up. My biggest encouragement is that one thing that maybe nowadays we actually have more time, but well, like pre-COVID, we said we didn't have enough time. Try doing this on a day, like let's say everyone's like their weekends, Saturday, Sunday. Try doing it Saturday, try doing it Sunday. Break that up. That is actually one of the things I encourage you the most. My second thing is, if you guys meal prep, and let's say I've done the same thing for the last 2 years, and actually I brought an example meal out for you, okay? So I actually have literally my broccoli, which looks a little questionable right now. It's been in the fridge for a while. My sweet potatoes and my chicken. Why I made a comment about my broccoli? Broccoli doesn't really keep well, okay? I know that, all right? You probably hopefully know that. Now the thing though, and this is gonna be a commitment from your end, you guys can break up your meal preps, meaning like, hey, for the first 3 days, I'll make, like, let's say Sunday is like a day you can make 3 days of food, meaning like just lunches. Just do that, and then maybe on like a Wednesday or Thursday, make the rest of like Thursday, Friday. Because that can help keep it fresh. Rather than making like 5 days of food, and that 4th and 5th days kind of rank, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind, that's what I do, because I used to go the whole, make everything in one spread, and then some things don't keep as well. So, again, just a little bit more commitment throughout the week. That's what I would say.
Cool. So, these are the topics that we want to go over with you guys. Some general information, but hopefully some assistance, some things that you have heard before, some things that you haven't. What we want to do now, I sent an email out to those of you who had registered pretty much through Thursday night for this, and asked, hey, what questions would you want answered during this time? And a bunch of you responded, which was great. Can't answer all the questions, but we're going to answer some of those. And then once we're done with that, we'll open up the floor from questions from you guys with the remainder of our time. All right, and we'll get you guys out of here. So I haven't rehearsed or studied these, so this is very informal. We're going to read it. We're going to answer it together. All right. So first one we have is, what are the best foods or snacks to keep my hunger at bay and help my energy levels stay up? So to me, it's not necessarily the type of food, it's when the food is happening. Because if we're tired, that's probably more of a product of our lack of eating than it is what we ate, if that makes any sense. The only time where what we eat will really, really inhibit that is if you eat something with a lot of sugar, because your body is gonna, you're gonna be on a sugar high, and then your body's gonna crash. So then you're gonna be tired. But if we're not eating a ton of sugar, there's not foods that are necessarily gonna hurt you more than they'll help you in terms of your energy levels. I would think more about your timing. So if you have windows of the day where you feel hungry, eat in those windows. Everything that he just pointed out, all those items, I would encourage any of those items. Handful of almonds, couple tablespoons of peanut butter, those are good options. Protein bars are good options. What would you say? Protein shakes are good options.
Yeah, having anything really, guys. Because I know a lot of us either, hey, I don't feel hungry and I don't eat, or I don't have time to eat. One of many options, and that's actually more of a detriment. If we go underneath, really far underneath our calorie goal, that's unhealthy, and that's what actually can lead to actually weight retain. So So it's actually
And
a
muscle loss.
And muscle loss.
Yeah.
So it's actually a possibility, like not having enough food will actually make you retain weight. So that's
Yeah.
actually what you stop.
Yeah, but I mean, think about the things we talked about in terms of protein-dense foods. Those are your good snacks, you know. Next one. What are the best carbs to eat?
Okay, I'm glad you brought
Well-
it up, Cotton. So, with our unprocessed carbs, that's what I want you guys to think about. Things that are not going to be, again, the best, if you want ideal, it's actually cooked by your own hands or prepared by somebody else, maybe. The idea, guys, is that it's not processed, right? So think of like a package. That's an easier way to think. So go back to my grocery store. Is there more product than package? Meaning, okay, my favorite thing, I'll honestly tell you this, my favorite thing in the absolute universe is tortilla chips or tortilla chips. Okay? It's just like, I go just to town. I know though that they come in a package. So I'm like, okay, it's not gonna be a great carb source because it's already prepared with sodium, preservatives, all the things. The product itself, this is not preserved really. It's mostly just going to be by itself. So again, the best carbs, guys, are going to be, I'll just list them off. Whole grain foods, so like I said, like Ezekiel breads, Damasfield bread is just in the sense of like types of bread. And then also the actual like, you can do like sprouted bread, you can do that as well. Brown rice, jasmine rice and white rice are fine. They're just, again, they're just going to be not as nutritious as brown rice. Quinoa,
Potatoes, sweet potatoes.
Yeah, sweet potatoes. Yeah,
Talking about
regular
that.
potatoes.
So I was going to ask you about that because I see people eat sweet potatoes all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet potatoes are bueno. You just can't eat too much sweet potato, right? Just like any of this stuff. I mean, even rice being healthy, if I eat a crap ton of rice,
Full of
I'm
carb.
charging, right? So it's about your amounts. But yeah, potatoes are good. Fruits and veggies are carbs. Now, as far as the way we look at our plate, we actually want to look at our plate as veggies are separate from our carbs because veggies, although they're carbs, you know, a slice of bread is equivalent to like 4 cups of broccoli carbs. So I need to eat a lot of broccoli to get the carbs that I want from something like potato or rice. So we kind of look at those as separate because one is much more dense than the other. And actually that's the next question we have is, you know, what are good carbs and bad carbs? Some suggest fruits should be avoided. Is that what we're worried about? Same thing, right? Fruits should not necessarily be avoided, but what do fruits have a lot of? Sugar. Okay, so even though fruits are healthy, if you eat a lot of fruits, you're in trouble, right? There's a lot of sugar. That's why, like, if you guys ever go get a smoothie, like, dude, look at those nutrition facts before you get a smoothie. It's like 120 grams of sugar. You're like, man, that tastes so good. Like, God, I love smoothies. Yeah, I wonder why, right? So fruits aren't bad unless we eat a ton. I pretty much eat a banana a day, but I don't eat 3 bananas a day, right? Or I don't put 3 bananas in a smoothie and blend it up, right? So I wouldn't say avoid fruits unless maybe you have like some stomach. There can be some reactions to some of the more acidic, citric fruits, but unless you deal with that, fruits are good, just in the right amounts.
Yeah, take fruits as your carb, guys. Veggies are a separate item.
Yeah. And fruits are great before and after a workout because your metabolism's rocking and it wants sugar. Like, give me something to burn for energy. Well, fruit has that sugar.
All right. What's the best metric for judging progress? Percentage body fat, BMI, muscle mass? And so, yeah, great question. Man, everyone's like, hey, y'all have seen this thing before, right? And you're like, I either hate this thing or it's like, hey, you know. So guys, this is actually my own right here. So I am actually the heaviest I've ever been, to be honest, full transparent with you, okay? Quarantine was not good to me, so I'm doing definitely the summer trip as well. But, yes, 100%. I'll tell you this, looking at me, the metrics that matter, well actually looking at anybody, the metrics that are going to matter, guys, again, like we always say, are the ones that are at the bottom. Weight, skeletal muscle mass, percentage body fat, those are the factors that actually go into overall, like, just vitality, okay? BMI, actually based on this, I am excessively high, so just know that. And the reason why I'm excessively high is because I have a good amount of muscle. But the thing though, guys, BMI is actually, It's actually it was used more of a general population metric back in the day when they first came out with it. So if you guys ever think, my BMI is high, don't really regard that. More or less look at your weight, skeletal muscle mass, and percentage body fat as those health markers.
Yeah, BMI is your height and your weight. There's your BMI.
They don't look at muscle
So it has
mass,
nothing to do with your
anything
composition.
like that.
So a lot of people, their BMI can look good, but if they're skinny fat, then their body fat is really high. That's not good. All right, are push power workouts better for certain goals? Like if weight loss is a key goal, should people seek more push classes? Man, great question. Get this question a lot. Generally speaking, push is going to focus more on a cardio output than power. Generally speaking. So I would say it is more of a fat burn target as a result. You see a lot more part A, part Bs in power than you do in push, right? So in power, I was going to point out there's a workout. So in today's workout, so usually, like a lot of times part A, you'll have a strength part A, where actually in Monday that happened, where you got like 12, 13 minutes and you're just doing a heavy lift. Well, your heart rate's not going to spike super high except in the exact seconds that you're doing the lift, right? And then part B is a short burst, workout like 7, 8, 9 minutes. Well, your heart rate is not going to spike nearly as much as it would on a push workout. It's 23 minutes and it's an AMRAP, or even today's EMOM that we did for some of you guys who came in. So push generally is going to target heart rate and target a fat burn goal more than power. However, there are plenty of power workouts that really push your heart rate. So, yeah, I did this week's programming was really good. So if you're looking at a week and you're saying, man, my goal is fat burn, how do I want to do my workouts this week? Look at your powers and see which ones are part A, part B. I would maybe stay away from those and on those days do push. That's probably how I would look at it. But I'll tell you this, my calorie burn on push and power, when they're both a long workout, it's about the same. It's about the same.
Ooh, I got this one. All right, from keto, vegan, paleo.
Oh, yeah.
Phrases that admittedly seem to work for certain people. Is there one that's universally applicable for long-term improved health? What an amazing question. Or do they focus more on simply a short reset for the body? Guys, what we are trying to help you guys with is lifetime sustainability. Like, we want you to sustain what you guys are doing right now. So, with that question, every single one of those things are what? 30 days, hopefully 60 days, right? So those are things that should be only focused on for a certain amount of time. Like Austin was talking about, we don't want you to count calories for the rest of your life, okay? That would drive me crazy. We want you to be able to sustain healthy, starts with an H, habits, okay? So what I want you guys to think about is most of it, actually just kind of tell you the truth of it. We as standard American diet, we eat a lot of carbs and a lot of fats. Okay, going back to our points behind protein. So those 4 of those things are taking a lot of those things out. Okay, so if you see it as like, yeah, hey, my buddy did keto. Well, he probably went down in carbs and went up in protein. So it might be that he is, yeah, maybe he is going into ketosis, but at the same time, what he is also doing is taking away carbs and adding protein. So
yeah,
all that to say though, going back to the universal long-term kind of acceptance, guys, is building the habits for, first off, probably focusing on the types of foods, like proteins, looking at that, and then building into vegetables and going from there.
Yeah, and I would loop this in. Someone asked too, what are our views on intermittent fasting? So, keto, vegan, paleo. I would say vegan is probably separate from those two. Vegan is more of a way of life than it is a diet plan. But intermittent fasting and keto are 2 really popular things right now. Paleo, Whole30, all those things. It doesn't matter. Like your macronutrients matter, but if you're eating less calories than you burn, you're losing weight. So if someone's like, "Hey, I was eating one way, but now I eat this way and it's working," they're restricting their calories this way. Now, as you get to your goal weight, your macronutrients become much more important because your macronutrients will determine your body composition. So if I weigh 200 pounds, my goal is to weigh 180 pounds, and I get to 180 pounds. Now my macronutrients are vitally important because if I want muscle, what do I need to eat? Protein. If I don't eat muscle, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose mine. Or if I don't eat protein, I'm going to lose my muscle. Okay? So that's kind of how I move into those things. So any of those things, if it restricts your calories, you're gonna lose weight, and it could work. So it's less about the methodology, like, oh, I eat more fats, that's why I lost all my weight. It's like, well, no, you ate more fats, but you ate less calories as a whole, and that's why you lost your weight. Does that make sense? Okay, so any of those things, if they help your body, do them. There's plenty of people who intermittent fast, and it works, because they're eating less calories. Yay, do it.
Okay, next one. Best tips to eating clean on a tighter budget during these COVID times. Preach. So, John is going to definitely talk about this tomorrow.
Go to all.
Go to all. Everyone, I don't know. That's not my thing. But again, with this thing, guys, I'll be honest. Like,
Also, protein, carbs, fats.
Protein,
That's
carbs,
it.
fats. It really is. Like, you go, and again, you don't have to buy organic. You don't have to. That's where like people will get into another discussion. But the idea is that if you buy, you're focusing on your proteins, your carbs, and your fats, and you're keeping those things in your shopping cart and trying to buy nothing else, I'll tell you, you'll spend, depending upon your family size, again, you'll spend $100, $200 max, right? But that's for the entire week. Again, I go to Publix, which is a little pricier than others. What I think of is like, yeah, if you go to like, let's say, Costco or like somewhere bulk, and you can buy a higher amount of carbs there. Probably not so much. You probably buy a higher protein, of course, but this, if you guys focus again, protein, carbs, fats, what's that for my week? That's gonna help you.
And don't eat out.
Yeah.
No, that's a big one. But tighter budget too. I mean, okay, we're gonna get real for a second. Has anyone ever been in a moment, maybe once or multiple times in life, where they're like, man, I don't know where my next meal's coming from? Anybody? Like you're like on your last few dollars. Okay, well I've been there. And I lived off of $37 at Walmart for 3 weeks one time. So that's not this. That's just saying, think about that. If you could do that, you can eat on a tighter budget, right? Look at an item, and literally ask yourself and say it out loud. No one will hear you because you have a mask on anyway. Just say, do I really need this? And about 99% of the time, no, don't get it. What type of things are important to look at on labels when we are purchasing boxed, canned, bottled, etc. foods? Another great question. It's good stuff. So, on a nutrition label, I mean, we may have slightly different answers to this. The first thing I look at is how many carbs are in it. So, because I don't want to get fooled, man. I don't want to pick up a protein bar and it's 20 grams of protein. Like, all right, I can get that. And then you look on the back, it's like 24 grams of sugar, 30 grams of carbs. I'm like, no, you almost got me, right? So I look at carbs is the first thing I look at. Then I'm looking at the protein. Then I'm looking at the fat, and that's what I look at. I don't look at any micronutrients. So your micronutrients, guys, are like your sodium, cholesterol, fiber, iron,
Vitamins.
But do you break up
vitamins,
the carbs?
unsaturated. Say it again.
Do you break, like if it has 20 grams of carbs, do you look and say, as long as it's not a lot of sugar, is that okay? Or are you taking out?
It depends what the item is. So like, here's an example. So grab and go, good example. So I would consider that more of an energy bar than a protein bar because it does have like 15 or so grams of sugar. I guess I could grab and look. But and the carbs are like 23, 24 grams of carbs. So if I'm eating that like before a workout, well, I want that sugar. So I'm looking at that as a positive. Whereas if I'm eating that bar and I'm just hungry, well, that sugar is going to be a short-lived energy spike as opposed to a nutritious, energy-sustaining source, if that makes sense. So in some instances, yes, I'll say, 30 grams of carbs and it's 28 grams of sugar. Yes, I'm gonna eat that right for my workout. But I wouldn't eat it maybe during other times of the day. Does that help answer your question? So that's what I look at. So I don't even look at the calories, to be honest with you. I just look at the grams and stuff. What about you?
Let's go with, okay, so we talked about macros a little bit. So if you guys, again, are by the end of today's talk and you want to know more about tracking, again, if you guys haven't heard of the MyFitnessPal app, that is definitely one that we really encourage using to track everything. Even if you're not a fan of it, you can just write stuff down. That's, again, it's just keeping yourself accountable. Again, counting calories is a great thing to reach our goal, but again, the overall habit of it is just keeping yourself accountable to what you're eating, right? You're like, oh man, if I gotta write it down and coach is gonna see it, oh shoot, right? So that's gonna be that's also is kind of helping you rather than having just us be, we're not gonna obviously come down on you, but the idea behind that. And then actually one of the questions I want to go over are, hey, on our no gym days, do we still have to eat a whole cow? Or is the protein wasted on days off? That is a great question. Guys, you should think of it this way. Protein is something that you need. Think of it this way. Carbs, you don't really need carbs. You do to like have energy, but your body to build stuff, protein's your building, okay? To have everything, to just like be in a good health, good shape, protein is gonna be consistent. Now, you probably don't have to eat as much in the sense of food because you're not working out, right? But protein is still something that you wanna eat on every day. Now, again, we'll talk a little more detail on maybe a little bit about that.
Yeah. Like you said, so like let's say on a given day, on a workout day, this is my breakdown in grams I want to eat. 220 grams of carbs, 200 grams of protein, 62 grams of fat. On a day I don't work out, this one should stay the exact same. I should still eat 200 grams of protein, but I would subtract there to there if I'm going to do it. But that protein, again, if you want to keep your muscle, that's vital.
And I want to make sure I say this crystal clear, guys. So going back to the question that I think I enjoyed the most today is the asking about like, hey, is there one thing that you would recommend universally applicable for long-term improved health? Now, counting these guys are good, and like tracking this is really good stuff to reach a goal. But what's the point if we go 42 days of tracking and then 6 years of like doing absolutely everything you did like opposite? Meaning, I want you guys to first practice the habits of, hey, let's shop first. Let's learn how to shop. Let's do the protein next. And then from there, like we've established that shopping applicability and that like action item, and we've actually started tracking and felt good there. Then it's probably, hey, we don't need to track anymore. We felt like we got this meal prep shop down. We can, that's what we want you guys to get out of this stuff. It's not so much, hey, it's just 42 days, and then I want you to go away from, everything you just learned and practice, right? So I just want to make sure I've got that.
That's a great point. Yeah, like if you, raise your hand if you have tracked your macros before. Like a lot of you guys probably have. If you haven't, do not leave today and start tracking your calories and your macros. Not gonna go well. Start with this. And then as this becomes more and more normal and easy, then you can look into tracking. And then at some point, we don't want you to track because hopefully you have built a habit and a routine. You already know what you're eating. You don't really need to track. So that's a great point. All right, we got a couple more minutes for, there were a couple more questions. That was actually, you brought up a question that we didn't highlight, but I do like. Where's the other one that I like? How's the best way to handle eating out? Not necessarily fast food, although for those with kids, that's often what they want. Woo boy, eating out. So, most of us know what's healthy and what's not. I would venture to say, Wendy's, not a lot there that you can eat healthily, right? Maybe Chipotle though, pretty healthy at Chipotle, right? So a lot of it is knowing where you're going and just knowing what you're in for as a generality. I will say this though, there are places that, or even some of the worst places, you can still, even like a Wendy's, I know this is hard to believe, but you can still find items on those menus that if you don't have any other choice, it's actually not that bad for you. Most of the time, if it's at somewhere like a Wendy's, it's probably going to be a salad, and it's probably not going to taste that good, but that's better than 2 junior bacon cheeseburgers and whatever the heck they else make. Okay, so I think one, if you know you're going to have to go out to eat somewhere, and maybe you're out at practice, and you know when practice is over, you're not going to have time to go home and cook. Look at restaurants that are nearby and literally pull out their menu and start figuring out what you're going to eat. Like their nutrition facts by law have to be online for you to look them up. So look them up and figure out what you can eat. That sounds like a lot of work. It takes like 5 minutes. If you take 5 minutes to look at your social media, you can take 5 minutes to look at what you're going to eat. Because honestly, what you're going to eat is way more important. So if you're going to go out to eat, look at the menu ahead of time before you go and start figuring out what you're going to eat. And then generally, when you do go out to eat, know that most of the things they cook with are butter and oil. And that's why it tastes so stinking good. Even Tzatziki's. Tzatziki's pretty stinking healthy. Their grilled tenderloin piece is about 60 grams of fat. You're like, where did that come from? Oil and butter. Okay? So just know that before you go. That's my biggest advice on eating out. And if you don't have time to do that, if it's just a a quick thing, protein, carbs, fats. Where am I getting my protein? What type of carbs am I going to eat at this place? And then hopefully I can limit my fats because most of the stuff at restaurants has a ton of fat. Okay? But, so, what we'll do next is we'll take some questions from you guys and answer those. We kind of allotted for an hour, so we're almost there. But what I would say is this. If you guys have to dip out, that's cool, but if you have lingering questions that you want to ask us, like, we'll be here. So ask us a few more and we'll filter those out. So I'll open the floor up. What questions you guys have? How can we help you? Shalene.
Question about the protein after a workout, protein shake. Are you suggesting whey, casein, collagen? What kind of protein is that?
Yeah, whey is best during the day, after a workout. It gets to your bloodstream much faster. Casein protein is designed to burn through the course of about 6 to 8 hours. So casein is great at night, right before bed. As a matter of fact, if any of you guys have late night cravings, a great way to curb those is to drink a casein protein shake because that will fill you up and you will not be hungry. And it's going to burn through the night. Also, if you're struggling to get your protein numbers, hey, 25 grams of protein right before you go to bed, that really helps. So whey during the day, that rhymes, and casein at night.
What do you say? Hey, actually, just say that. Who's ever tried the casein protein and absolutely thought it was disgusting?
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
be real. Okay, perfect.
Pudding.
Let me talk to y'all because I got recipes to make with the casein. It is awesome. So.
And even if you don't want to get super creative with a recipe, doing a just unsweetened almond milk or unsweetened coconut milk, and if you just whisk,
don't do it with water.
Don't do it with water. If you just whisk it in that, it will take after like 5 minutes. It's basically a pudding.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it ain't a snack pack, but it's better than drinking it. You know, like sandpaper, drinking it down with water.
Other questions?
What's up?
I'm looking at this LaCroix and I drink so many of them. Are those equated to just drinking water? Are they bad?
They're not bad. They're actually.
But they do make you bloated, like that if you drink too much.
Carbonated
The
stuff.
carbs. I mean the carbonation, it's air.
So
Well,
I'll tell you this. They're not bad for you. So if you're drinking a whole bunch of them, it's not hurting. But they're great to curb appetite because for that exact reason. And when I drink one of those, I don't want to eat anything because my stomach feels like it's a balloon. So that's actually a good tip. I actually drink something called a Zevia, which is a stevia flavored soda. Does not taste like the actual thing, but it's close enough. And it's since it's stevia flavored, it's 0 calorie. So I'll drink those at night so I don't eat. So similarly, go for it. Carbonation is a nice way to curb your hunger if you're struggling with that. Yes?
Can you go over how you got those numbers? How much carbs, how much protein, how much fat?
So these numbers specifically, or just in general?
Yeah, like how would I figure out mine?
Ah, this is good. Okay, so, oh man.
Sorry.
All right, no. So, okay, remember he said earlier how many grams of each thing you can count. So if my goal is to eat, 1,500 calories, for example, these calories are made up of those grams of macronutrients. So what I typically do for my athletes, and everyone's a little different, but a generally accepted percentage for weight loss is these percentages of intake a day. So what I would do is I would take my overall calorie goal, and then I would figure out what percentage of that, or based on these percentages, how many grams of each thing I'm eating. Now, luckily, there are some websites that do that for you, which is fantastic. There's actually a really nerdy formula I don't even know what it's called. It's some weird, Austrian scientist equation. But anyway, now there's websites and the internet. So I'll say this too, if you want to know these numbers, we can compute these numbers for you. And it's pretty easy. But that really takes my calorie goal and takes it a step further. And we purposely didn't get into this because it can get pretty thick, get into the weeds. But let's use our calorie example. If I want to lose my weight, I eat under my 2,000 calorie burn a day. So let's say I eat 1,500 calories. Yes, I'm losing weight. But what if those 1,500 calories is nothing but Oreos? I am losing weight, I'm losing weight, but I'm gonna turn into an Oreo, right? There's hardly any nutritional value to an Oreo. So then when I step on here,
I wasn't eating Oreo.
when I step on here and my weight is down, but my body fat percentage is up, that means I lost muscle, and that's not good. So that's why macronutrients can be important. Calories are going to affect your weight. Macronutrients are going to affect your composition. Good questions. Any other questions? Do you guys feel like this is helpful?
Yeah.
Are you just saying that? All right. Well, like I said, we'll stick around for a few minutes if you guys want to ask us any questions.
Actually, I got one more thing.
What do you got?
All right, you gotta say it with us. You ready? And I want you to say it out loud at the same time, like 3, 2, 1, try. I will mess up, and it'll be okay. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1.
I will mess up, and it'll be okay.
It's like therapy session. Hey, seriously, don't forget meal prep tomorrow. That's at 3:30. The ingredients you'll need are on the Facebook post. So go in there. That's what you need. Jump on there with John. Even if you can't, let's say you're busy at 3:30, we're going to record that and make it available to you, so you can maybe watch it later, tomorrow night. But other than that, guys, thanks for doing this with us. If you don't mind putting the boxes back, and when you do that, it's very important. It's very important. Not that important, but when you put the boxes up, don't put them like all the way up against the brick, because the brick will chip and it looks bad. And don't we want our gym to look really cool and nice? So let there be a few inches between the boxes and the brick. And other than that, have a great day.
So it was a Rico at Pizza Mafioso's.